Well, here we are. This is game week 4, and this is Andy and Mark Tipple. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing all right, Andrew. How are you?
Yeah, good. I see you flying the flag in the background there. That's good.
Always flying, yeah.
That's all for the British contingent with the league that we're running. If this is your first time in watching, my name's Andy King, Mark Tipple. We're the FPL BEZLERS, and we just like to review the last week and look to the next week within this world of FPL. And this week was a little bit of a strange week. For those who are maybe new to the league, there was a lot of movement of different players before the week, and we even had a wild card. Someone played a wild card this week in the league. Yeah. And let's see, Andrew was, I forget his last name. I say it wrong all the time. I'll get to it when you start talking, so I say it right. But he did a wild card.
What's his team name?
Let's have a look here. Hold on. Look, see, this is live. This is live. I hope people know this.
Yeah,
we don't mess around.
Yeah.
Well, let's just jump onto the league. Let me get here. Wild cards this week. It was Andrew Barminter. And he was 19th, ended up 19th this week. He had a 74 this week, and he actually got the most out of everyone this week. But he did play the wild card. There was a few 70s as well in there, which was good because
that's amazing.
It was a hard week.
Terrible week.
Shocking. Now, your favourite team name, Stubbed Mitoma.
I noticed that he's jumped straight to. Well, what happened with him? Obviously, is he stubbed his Mitoma, and he stumbled into first place, didn't he? You know, like when you stub your toe and you just break into a run or a sprint to try and get your balance. He's just done it to the top of the league, hasn't he?
But I did see in the chat, in the WhatsApp chat, he was gloating a little bit, and obviously it's early in the league. You know, we're gonna have to see what happens later on. But no, it definitely was a hard week. Mark, how was it for you with your team? You have Tip Brit United.
Well, when you were saying before there was a lot of movement, for me it was just one big bowel movement. That's pretty much. It was
that bad, was it?
It was bad. It was bad. There's no other, you can't polish a turd, Andrew. It was bad.
But boy, we will try. We'll try. Now, what did you do before for your team? Did you have any transfers? Did you leave your team before?
I rolled a transfer the week before.
Okay.
And I thought I had a very cunning plan, but it just was not. That's FPL.
Yeah.
And I brought in Salah
and
Pedro.
Yeah.
The Brighton striker. Well, he never played 1 minute.
No.
And Salah blanked.
Yeah.
So, cunning move, Mark.
Yeah. Well, you know what is crazy? I did exactly the same substitutes as you.
I noticed that. You're copying me again, aren't you?
But I took a -4 hit to get there.
Oh.
So when I didn't see Pedro playing, I was a little upset. And then there was another thing that I was upset about. Oh, I decided to not captain Haarland, but captain Salah. So that really messed me up.
You still did a lot better than I did, though, even though I captained Haarland.
Well, where it helped me was a few weeks ago. I had substituted in Raya for a goalkeeper, just wanting to get I wanted to get 2 defensive type players from Arsenal, and then I had Gabriel, who got the most points for this week. He got 15 points, so he did save me this week. But I had I'm just counting right now. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 that had 2 points. I had one that had 0, and I had one that had 1. So, and all of my bench players if they came on, they got nothing as well. They didn't even play. So I've got to do a bit of shuffling. But definitely, it was a tough week. But some great games, Mark. Did you watch any of the games?
I didn't really get to see many of them this weekend. But I just kind of kept my eye on the scores. But I remember on Saturday, you text me. And it was like you went all Chicken Little. Like, oh no, the end of the world, the sky is falling. It's my worst FPL week ever. Right? And wow, doesn't 24 hours make a change, Andrew? Eh?
Yeah, but it was still bad, mate. It was still bad. I mean,
listen, I would rather have your points this week than my points.
I know. Well, I was looking, the highest points this week was from a guy called Points999, and he got 120 points. Not in our league. This is a guy that is not in our league. But he had Sanchez in goal. He got 15. He had Gabriel. Wow. He had 15. He had Haarland that he triple captained for 39 points.
Nice move.
Yeah, nice move. So, and again, I was talking to my son Ethan about this. He's in LA and he plays religiously. And we were saying how we hate it that you've got to captain Haarland to get some serious points, because I know everyone hates, if you're not a Man City fan, everyone hates Haarland as far as he is producing, but it's one of those things where you just got to stick the captaincy on him, and this week it would have paid off for a lot of people for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll have to see. I mean, last year it was different. There was a lot of weeks where you were better off not captaining Haarland.
Right.
But you just don't know. He's a viper. He'll jump out and bite you when you least expect it,
Yeah, and if we look into, I'm just jumping screens here, but if you look into this week's games coming up, there's some great fixtures this weekend. But that last one, Man City against Arsenal.
Tasty tie,
but what do you do? Because you've got, for a lot of folks, including myself, we've got Arsenal defenders or goalkeeper, but then you've also got Haarland up front. What are you thinking about this week, Mark?
I don't think I have as many Arsenal as you do. I don't know. I got battered this weekend, so I'm just kind of crawling onto the beach over the rocks after being shipwrecked.
You're licking your wounds.
Catching my breath. Putting a bit of, you know what I mean? What is it? The old Dettol on the old cuts. Giving it the old... Thank you. So... just catching my breath, Andrew, really, looking which way the wind's blowing and looking for a coconut to suck on. What does that even mean? I don't know. It's too late. We're recording this at 20 past stupid hour. 20 past 10 in the evening, but yeah,
that's right. That's why it's dark. We are going to do one of these in the daylight one time, right, Mark? We are going to...
That's right. You
know what did surprise me this week? Obviously, Man United won, which we are Man United fans, so that was a good result. That was a good result. But what was even crazier was, let me pull up my thing here. Points. Not only did Gabriel get the highest points, but De Ligt from Man United got 15 points as well.
Wow.
Which, he had a bad international run the week before. Everyone was writing him off. But he looked pretty solid for United in the back.
And then he delit the stadium up, didn't he? Sorry, that was terrible.
Oh, man. But another one
reminds me of Ben's team, Afternoon Delit, which is a great name.
It's a great name, Ben. Great name for sure. One of the Anana for Man United in goal. 13 points he got.
Yeah, he saved the penalty, didn't he?
Yeah. So I mean, that's where you win FPL. Yes, you've got to try and get a Haarland or a Salah or
a time machine. That would be helpful.
A time machine, but it's those differentials of those players. I mean, that's why I went Salah captain instead of Haarland. There's them weeks where you may go Palmer, captain. It may be you captain Raya one week. I mean, and
or
you look
Phil Jones.
Phil Jones. But Vardy, he had a great week this week for Leicester. Right. If you're wanting a cheaper upfront guy, he would definitely be worth looking at this week for sure.
I saw. I went to Aldi earlier. They had Vardy on sale in the centre aisle.
They did
at Aldi. Yeah.
You get a lot.
How cheap he is.
You get a lot in that middle aisle. I tell you.
Many a good man's gone missing in that middle aisle at Aldi, Andrew. Just pulls you in.
Well, if you've been following the Premier League closely in the States, I know we have a lot of people who play that are in the UK and around the world. But this week is FanFest, which is going to be in Chicago. I know myself and Mark are going to go there this weekend for 2 days. You looking forward to that, Mark?
I am. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, I don't. They haven't announced who's going to be there. It's normally Shearer or someone like that. Is always
Phil
there.
Jones.
Phil Jones. Yeah.
No, look.
Yeah. So, so that's going to be a fun weekend. I know Roger and some of his boys are going to meet us down there as well. Wanted to let everyone know later this week I'll talk with Mark and we're going to try and do a meetup. So if you are into FPL in our league and are going to be in Chicago for the FanFest, we'll try and do a meetup. I don't think they've got anything fantasy football at the actual event, but we'll meet up for sure. It'll be a fun time. United play. And I'm talking as if everyone in our league's a Man United fan, which they should be, but they play at 12:30 or 11:30, sorry, on Saturday against Crystal Palace. Dave Jane's team.
Oh wow!
Oh, Dave's
That's
on
this weekend, yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be another win for United, I'm sure. But that's going to be a fun time.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Any thoughts on your teams for this week? Coming up, Mark.
What you mean? What I'm going to do with my team?
Yeah.
I don't know yet. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I need to have a real good look. I wish I could get rid of a lot of them, to be honest.
Yeah. Do you think it's too early to do a wild card?
No, it depends on what your team's like.
Yeah. I'm trying to get to the international break in October, and then I'll assess things, after that.
I might not make it that far.
Oh, man. Doing the wild card?
I don't know. I'm feeling a bit wild.
Are you feeling the pressure being as you were the
I just don't like
champion?
my team. I just don't like my team. Apart from Haarland. I mean, I've got Salah, but he's got to prove himself for me,
I know. The week I put him in, he gets 4 points, and that's with him being captain. So I don't know. Well,
I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I really don't. Everything's up in the air.
Yeah. I know that there have been some great results for a lot of the players in our league. Let me pull up our league, because there have been some guys that have been killing it. Obviously, we mentioned Stub Matoma.
He's coming home. He's been home. Up there.
Yeah. Finn, last year he lives in Coventry, England. He's doing great. There's always that Dave Jane.
Hang on. Dave Jane's in the Champions League spot, number 4.
Number 4. I know.
Yeah. It could be Dave. If you carry on like that, my friend, you might be travelling Europe soon on Wednesday nights. Champions League place, isn't he? I'm not even in. I'm not even in the conference.
I know.
League
What's
thing.
happening? You're 10th. What's
I don't
going
know.
on, Mark?
Well, I'm a bit of a submarine, you know.
What do you mean by that?
I've sunk. No, I'm just you know, scraping the bottom of the ocean, waiting for the tide to change.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had a bad start. There's no hiding it, but you know, could be worse, could be better.
Yeah, could be worse. Obviously, Josiah Woods, number 6 there.
Yeah, he's doing good.
And then Ethan's
doing good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, although he was mad this week. I won't tell you what he was telling me, but he was mad with
What was he telling you?
Well, just the whole Haarland thing and just going off on his team. But no.
How did he describe it?
I can't tell you that. I think he tried to describe it on the chat, but yeah, no. You know, and it's amazing because you've got guys that will have a lot of points one week and then the next week they just hit down. But that's the beauty of FPL.
It's a yo-yo, Andrew. It's an up and down helter-skelter. Like a thermometer. I mean, that's the nice thing about it. You just have absolutely no idea what's going to happen.
I know, we all talk as if we know what's going to happen. We have no idea.
You know what's funny, right?
What?
I think it was a couple of years ago. I was taking it real serious and trying to strategize and everything, and somebody was above me in the league. This was after several weeks, way above me in points. And I came to find out that they'd not played for about 8 weeks and given up on it. And they'd still got way more points than I had. It's like a horse race, isn't it? You know, the jockey disappears at the first fence, he falls off, but his horse just carries on and beats everybody else, you know.
Well, what we do want to encourage people, though, is even though for some of you this may be your first year in FPL or it's just started bad, right? There's been some crazy results. I mean, you look at Everton. Let's talk about Everton real quick. For the last 2 games, they were pretty much winning it, and they've gone and lost it in the last minute or so. This week, the Villa, I don't know if you saw it, Mark, the Villa goal against Pickford, no one is stopping that goal. That was a 30-yarder, bending all the way. Pickford couldn't get it. But yet last year, and this is what I'm on about, compared to last year, Pickford was the goalkeeper to have. This year, he's not showing up. And it's not, I don't think, him. He's a great goalkeeper, but I think he's just not got the defence that's helping him out. And again, 2 games, 10 minutes before, they're either tied or are winning the game, and then they've just lost it in the last 10 minutes or so. And so it's definitely one of those things that affects FPL. I know a lot of people that have got rid of Pickford, for me, last week, I got rid of Isaac and Saka for Salah and Pedro. And so, I've got to figure all that out now with Pedro. But yeah, it's you've just got to look at who's playing well, right? And if you can get them in. And I'm different to you. I'll take the hit on the points. Like the last 2 games, I've took a -4 on each week because I've had to do something. And I always think about it, if I can take a -4 for bringing a player in, 2 players in, if you've got to change two positions, sometimes it's worth the risk, because you could have someone that scores a goal that you feel like could bring it in, and they've got 6 or 8 points, and so that -4 is gone, but again, I'm a bit of a risk taker. I know you tease me about it, Mark.
Well, I take hits occasionally, But I'm always conscious of the value as well in the players because they're changing all the time, you know.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful you don't get priced out, so you can't get to the player you want.
Yeah. That happened to me a few weeks back. I was set to do a transfer midweek. I just wanted to make sure he wasn't injured or anything like that. And the player I was going for went up to 0.2. And I couldn't get to him. I couldn't physically get to him, and so I had to go a different route. And did you see this week, Mark? You may not have seen this. After Saturday's game into Sunday, they started changing the prices of players.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, during the week, the actual weekend, which was very unusual. I know Saka went down 0.2. I know Isaac went down 0.2, and that was on the weekend. So
we did well to get rid of them.
Yeah, because we made money on them.
Well,
so there you go. So I guess we are good at it. I guess.
Well, I think we're lucky sometimes and terribly unlucky others.
Well,
fine margins.
Fine margins. Well, I know that I was encouraging people not to quit.
Yeah, don't quit.
Don't quit.
What I would say is it's still the beginning of the season, and it does take a while to start for things to settle down and start recognizing form and what teams are playing well together, what players are playing good, who's fit, who isn't. So you kind of got to gather that information. And take it from there. But it's early days. Everything changes, you know.
The two things we talked about it last podcast. I know we didn't do one last week because someone was on vacation. Mark was on vacation, and we didn't want to do it while he was on vacation. So, but FPL Live, the app. If you're watching the games live and you want to see your points coming in when there's fouls or saves or goals, or it's really cool to have open. FPL Live is the app, and it's it's instantaneous.
Just don't do it when you're driving. Doesn't work. I went through 3 reds.
Red cards.
Red lights as well.
But that's good. And another thing, every week when we're on, I want to try and introduce someone to you in the world of FPL. I don't know if you remember the first time we were on, we talked about Sam Bonfield from the FPL pod, the official FPL pod. Another guy that I think you follow him, Mark, but I love watching his videos and stuff, is a guy called FPL Harry.
Harry, yeah. I like that.
He actually has gone full time doing this now, this last year. So obviously there's a bit of money in it over in the UK.
He's a guru on the FPL mountain, isn't he?
Oh, I posted this week in the chat that Sky Sports have actually had him on their show. They have a fantasy FPL show, and they had him on this week. And so, but FPL Harry is well worth following. He's not right all the time, but he has some great insight. And so, if you just go FPL Harry, you'll find him for sure. So, well, Mark, that's about it, I guess, for this week. I didn't talk about my team, but I think I'll be making one change this week, but I've got to figure out where, because none of my bench players are playing at all. And so, like when Pedro didn't play, no one came up for me. So I may have to look at that. But
before we go, what happened this weekend? My team was so bad at halftime. I really tried to I wanted to see if they'd let me come on off the bench, sneak on, somehow put my name in. Because seriously, I mean, I was no great soccer player. I could play a little bit, but I don't think I could have had good statistics compared to some of them this weekend. You know.
Yeah, it was bad. It was a
bad
week. But hey, you have weeks like that. You know,
it's a new day.
This week we might have some Sentry guys in the Sentry Club, the 100 point. You never know. So we'll try it again. Well, till next week. And again, everyone, make sure you check out the WhatsApp chat, because we will talk about meeting up at the Fan Fest, the Premier League Fan Fest, which is in Chicago, Lincoln Park, this next weekend. So if you're in the area, come and see us. It's going to be fun. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, so it's going to be cool. And and I get to hang out with you, Mark, for a couple of days in your neck of the woods. Yeah,
my neck.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, we'll see you all next week, and have a great weekend with playing FPL. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.